Only a few short years before the Knox virus outbreak, a very successful singer-songwriter by the name of felt it was time to return home and once again ground himself in the sights and sounds that gave him his start. From walking through the forest to the Heart Lake that gave the town its name, to exploring the run-down abandoned workshops and sawmills south of the town. But as many people find once they leave for the big lights and far-off wonders, you can never truly go home again. In the years since he left, his cozy town had fallen on hard times. With the local industry run down, predatory investors had seized the land in the heart of the town and thrown up shoddy low-rent apartments. And chain megastores had started competing with and pushing out the locally owned mom-and-pop shops. He had to put an end to this and save his hometown. So he bought up the land to the east of the town and began building his newest mansion and a mega recording studio. In the interim, he'd refurbished one of the local buildings into a new club and recording studio and moved his crew into his hometown. Things were looking up for the town. Jobs were beginning to flow and spirits were high until the undead began interfering. At the first news of the Knox infection, the military was quick to set up a staging area along the main road, fences and a few tents. But then they were called away to Louisville, where things were starting to get out of hand. At this news, began to sing a new tune. A high-security fence was thrown up around the mansion and a guard post erected. Guns and ammo were stockpiled, both in the guard station and in the mansion itself. The beginning stages of paranoia set in, and Heart Lake's famous singer bought as much gold as he could and stashed it in his safe house, like having a lot of very shiny metal would save him. Yet all these precautions were not enough, as one of the groupies had been hiding a bite and woke up in the night to start their own band. The fences kept the townspeople safe for a few more hours as the compound itself was ravaged from within. But soon enough, the forest surrounding Heart Lake let the infected through, and the town fell, as so many did that summer. The map of Lalafell's Heart Lake is a single-cell mod map located to the south and west of Muldraugh. It gets the charm of small-town America just right, and has all the amenities you could ask for from a starting town or another stop along the way. Add it to your next playthrough to fill in the map, or add it to your multiplayer server to add in more lootable areas. It currently doesn't conflict with any known maps, so it will fit in with most builds. As for the town, it's set off from the main road a little ways, just past these abandoned warehouses. They do have a bit of loot, and the devs did a wonderful job of making them grungy and run down, but there's not really much there. As you enter the town, off to the west, you'll find the local gas station conveniently placed right next to the entrance to the town. To the east, you'll find a lookout tower that's fully climbable and the military tents surrounded by fences. You'll have to climb over or break down the fence as there is no gate, but there are some nice military crates to loot inside. There are still a few buildings that are looking for tenants and are lovingly grunged up to fit the setting nicely. There's a small-time grocery store with attached laundry, which is such a beautiful touch. Kudos to the map maker. Further east, you'll find the local gun store. Not as full as other gun stores, but easier to get into. Then, you'll find the construction area. And if you go off into the woods, you'll come to the heart-shaped lake that gives the town its name. The west of the town holds a pool park and a few small shops, like the bookstore and a hardware store, and a row of duplexes that empties out into a diner, police station, auto shop, and mechanic station. The middle of the town holds a couple of bait shops, pharmacies, a theater, nicely built public bathrooms, video store, and post office. Some storage units, a couple of hotels, bakery, as well as a daycare. Plenty to loot and explore, and all of it is well constructed. And just north of that is a trailer park. The big attraction of the map, however, is to the east of the downtown, where a large compound has been fenced in. Inside, there's a guard station, a club and recording studio, and a mansion. There aren't any gates into the compound, but once inside, there's lots to see and lots to steal. The guardhouse is connected on either side over the road and holds plenty of guns and ammo to help clean out the rest of the town. The studio club has food and drink, or should I say Molotov fixins. The mansion is a great base of operation and has a safe room upstairs filled with firearms and stacks of gold. Overall, this is a great map filled with charm and, most of all, loot, and I can highly recommend it to most. There are a few things that I noticed that might rub you the wrong way. First, you'll notice that as you come into town, there are a few very sharp turns that could be eased out with some curved roading. I know that is trickier to map, but it also looks a lot better. The firing range to the south has absolutely no backdrop, which would make working at the construction area a bit exciting, and since I married into a gun nut family, it gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about the firing angles here. And then again, as usual, if you are more of a challenge map person, more of a hardcore player, don't like taking things easy, you might not like how much loot there is, and the mansion is very well secured. So if that's not for you, then you might want to stay away from Lalafell Heart Lake. And up to the north corner, there's a bit of disconnect in the road colors going on, and though this road bit here looks like it's out of place, Lalafell's Heart Lake is actually built with an adjoining map in mind. And this little spur of road here meets up nicely with another road from the map Cherniville. So, if you load both maps, you'll have a nicely merged road between them. If you don't, you'll have a bit of a strange dead end, so if there were a bit of road damage at the edge of this road with a few tools lying around it, it would cut off more neatly for those servers that don't have Cherniville. But why not just load Cherniville as well? Well, that's a mod map for another video. And if you don't want to miss that highlight, please subscribe and like this video so YouTube knows to notify you. And until then, I'll play with you again later.